Carson Palmer, USC.
David Johnson, Northern Iowa.
Larry Fitzgerald, University of Pittsburgh.
Michael Floyd, Notre Dame.
Darren Fells, UC Irvine.
Jermaine Gresham, Oklahoma.
Jared Valdir, Hillsdale College.
Mike Upati, Idaho.
A.Q. Shipley, Penn State.
Earl Watford, James Madison.
DJ Humphries, University of Florida.
Frosty Rucker, USC.
Corey Peters, Kentucky.
Calais Campbell, the U.
Chandler Jones, Syracuse.
Deion Buchanan, Washington State.
Kevin Minner, LSU.
Marcus Golden, Mizzou made Afton.
Patrick Peterson, LSU. Tony Jefferson, Oklahoma.
Tyrann Mathieu, LSU.
Marcus Cooper, Bloomfield, Connecticut.
Matt Ryan, Boston College.
Devontae Freeman, Florida State.
Keith Smith, Charter Oak High School.
Calvin Ridley, Bama.
Russell Gage, LSU.
Jaden Graham, Yale.
Jake Matthews, Texas A&M.
James Carpenter, Alabama.
Alex Mack, Cal.
Weston Schweitzer, San Jose State.
Caleb McGarry, Washington.
Vic Beasley, Clemson.
Brady Jarrett, Clemson.
Tyler Davison, Fresno State.
Tack McKinley, UCLA.
Devondre Campbell, Minnesota.
Deion Jones, LSU.
Isaiah Oliver, Brophy Prep High School.
Ricardo Allen, Purdue.
DeMonte Casey, San Diego State.
Desmond Trufant, Washington.
Kendall Sheffield, Ohio State.
Josh Allen, Wyoming, Go Pokes.
Devin Singletary, FAU.
John Brown, Pittsburgh State.
Cole Beasley, SMU.
Isaiah McKenzie, Georgia.
Dawson Knox, Hotty Toddy.
Deion Dawkins, you already know University.
Quentin Spain, Petersburg High School.
Mitch Morse, Missouri.
John Feliciano, the U.
Cody Ford, Oklahoma.
Trent Murphy, Stanford.
Jordan Phillips, the University of Oklahoma.
Star Lotulelei, Utah.
Jerry Hughes, TCU.
Matt Milano, Boston College.
Tremaine Edmonds, Virginia Tech.
Lorenzo Alexander, Cal.
Tre'Davious White, Trey White Goldie Academy.
Jordan Poyer, Oregon State.
Micah Hyde, University of Iowa.
Levi Wallace, University of Alabama.
Lamar Jackson, Louisville.
Mark Ingram, Built by Bama.
Willie Snead, Ball U.
Miles Boykin, Notre Dame.
Nick Boyle, Delaware.
Mark Andrews, University of Oklahoma.
Ronnie Stanley, Notre Dame.
Bradley Bozeman, University of Alabama.
Matt Skura, Duke.
Marshall Yonda, Iowa.
Orlando Brown, University of Oklahoma.
Brandon Williams, Stanton Elementary.
Michael Pierce, Samford University.
Matthew Judon, Bodybuilt by Taco Bell.
Josh Bonds, War Eagle.
Patrick Owasso, Portland State.
Jalen Ferguson, Louisiana Tech.
Marlon Humphrey, Alabama.
Chuck Clark, Virginia Tech.
Earl Thomas, DBU.
Marcus Peters, West Oakland, California.
Jimmy Smith, Colorado.
Cam Newton, Auburn University.
Jonathan Stewart, the University of Oregon.
Kelvin Benjamin, D. Florida State.
Ted Ginn Jr., The Iowa State University.
Greg Olson, the U.
Ed Dixon, Oregon Ducks.
Mike Reimer, Oregon State.
Andrew Norwell, The Ohio State.
Tyler Larson, Utah State.
Christopher Scott, Tennessee.
Trey Turner, LSU.
Charles Johnson, University of Georgia.
Star Lotulelei, University of Utah.
K'Wan Short, Purdue.
Wes Horton, USC.
Shaq Thompson, Washington.
AJ Klein, Iowa State University.
Thomas Davis, Georgia.
James Bradbury, Sanford University.
Michael Griffin, Texas.
Trey Boston, North Carolina.
Darrell Worley, West Virginia.
Andy Dalton, TCU.
Joe Mixon, Oklahoma.
AJ Green, Georgia.
Tyler Boyd, Pittsburgh.
John Ross, Washington.
CJ Uzama, Auburn.
Cordy Glenn, Georgia.
Clint Bowling, Georgia.
Trey Hopkins, Texas.
Alex Redmond, UCLA.
Bobby Hart, Florida State.
Carlos Dunlap, Fort Dorchester High School.
Andrew Billings, Baylor.
Geno Atkins, Georgia.
Mike Johnson, Georgia Tech.
Preston Brown, Hilltop Hawks.
Vontez Burfict, Corona Centennial High School.
Drake Kirkpatrick, University of Alabama.
Sean Williams, Georgia.
Jesse Bates III, Wake Forest.
Tony McCray, North Carolina A&T.
William Jackson, Houston.
Baker Mayfield, Oklahoma.
Nick Chubb, Georgia.
OBJ, I'm him.
Jarvis Landry, the Jungle.
Damian Ratley, Yokel, Texas.
Demetrius Harris, Wisconsin, Milwaukee.
Greg Robinson, Auburn.
Joel Petonio, Nevada.
J.C. Treader, Cornell.
Eric Cush, California, University of Pennsylvania.
Justin McCray, University of Central Florida.
Olivier Vernon, American Senior High School.
Larry Ogunjobi, Charlotte.
Sheldon Richardson, Mizzou.
Miles Garrett, Texas A&M.
Matt Wilson, Alabama.
Joe Schobert, Wisconsin.
TJ Carey, Ohio.
Terrence Mitchell, Oregon.
Jermaine Whitehead, Greenwood, Mississippi. Justin Burris, North Carolina State.
Eric Murray, Minnesota.
Mitchell Trubisky, North Carolina.
Tariq Cohen, North Carolina A&T.
Allen Robinson, Penn State.
Anthony Miller, the University of Memphis.
Javon Williams, Georgia.
J.P. Holtz, Pittsburgh.
Charles Leno Jr., Boise State.
James Daniels, Warren G. Harding High School.
Cody Whitehair, Kansas State.
Rashad Howard, Old Dominion.
Cornelius Lucas, the Edna Carr Magnet High School.
Eddie Goldman, Florida State. Bilal Nichols, University of Delaware.
Khalil Mack, University of Buffalo.
Nick Kwiatkowski, West Virginia.
Kevin Pierre-Louis, Boston College.
Leonard Floyd, Georgia.
Kyle Fuller, Virginia Tech.
HaHa Clinton Dix, Roll Tide.
Eddie Jackson, Alabama.
Prince Amukamara, Nebraska.
Buster Screen, UT Chat.
Dak Prescott, Hale State.
Ezekiel Elliott, the Ohio State.
Amari Cooper, Alabama.
Michael Gallup, Colorado State.
Jason Witten, Tennessee.
Blake Jarwin, Oklahoma State.
Tyron Smith, USC.
Connor Williams, Texas.
Travis Frederick, Wisconsin.
Zach Martin, Notre Dame.
La'el Collins, LSU.
DeMarcus Lawrence, the Boise State Broncos.
Malik Collins, KC Center.
Antoine Woods, USC.
Robert Quinn, Fort Dorchester High School.
Sean Lee, Penn State.
Jalen Smith, University of Notre Dame.
Leighton Vander Esch, Boise State.
Chittle Bay, Iowa, Colorado.
Jeff Heath, Saginaw Valley.
Xavier Woods, Louisiana Tech.
Byron Jones, University of Connecticut.
Brock Osweiler, Arizona State.
CJ Anderson, Laney College.
Andy Janovich, Nebraska.
Demarius Thomas, Georgia Tech.
Emmanuel Sanders, Southern Methodist University.
Virgil Green, Nevada.
Garrett Bowles, the University of Utah.
Max Garcia, Florida.
Matt Paradis, Boise State. Brian Leary, University of Memphis.
Alan Barber, Missouri Southern.
Derek Wolf, Cincinnati.
Domata Peko, Samoana High School. Adam Geltis, Georgia Tech.
Von Miller, Texas A&M.
Brandon Marshall, Nevada Wolfpack.
Todd Davis, Paraclete High School.
Shane Ray, Missouri.
Akeem Talib, Kansas.
Justin Simmons, Boston College.
Darian Stewart, South Carolina. Chris Harris Jr., Kansas.
Matthew Stafford, University of Georgia.
Garrett Blunt, Taylor County High School.
Marvin Jones Jr., Cal.
Kenny Galladay, Northern Illinois.
Luke Wilson, Villanova High School.
Levine Toilolo, Stanford University.
Taylor Decker, the Ohio State University.
Frank Ragnow, Arkansas. Graham Glasgow, Michigan.
TJ Lang, Eastern Michigan.
Rick Wagner, Wisconsin.
Ricky Jean-Francois, Carroll City.
Sylvester Williams, North Carolina.
Deshaun Hain, Alabama.
Christian Jones, Florida State.
Jared Davis, University of Florida.
Devon Kennard, USC.
Nevin Lawson, Utah State.
Glover Quinn, New Mexico.
Quandre Diggs, University of Texas. Jamal Agnew, San Diego.
Darius Big Play Slay, Mississippi State.
Aaron Rodgers, Cal.
Aaron Jones, UTEP. Devontae Adams, Fresno State. Geronimo Allison, Illinois.
Alan Lazard, Iowa State.
Jimmy Graham, the U.
David Bakhtiari, University of Colorado.
Elton Jenkins, Clarksdale High School.
Corey Lindsley, The Ohio State University.
Billy Turner, North Dakota State.
Brian Balaga, Iowa.
Dean Lowry, Northwestern.
Kenny Clark, UCLA.
Tyler Lancaster, Northwestern.
Preston Smith, Mississippi State.
Blake Martinez, Stanford.
BJ Goodson, Clemson.
Zadarius Smith, the University of Kentucky.
Jair Alexander, the University of Louisville. Adrian Amos, Baltimore, Maryland.
Darnell Savage Jr., Maryland.
Kevin King, Washington. Deshaun Watson, Clemson.
Carlos Hyde, the Ohio State University.
DeAndre Hopkins, Daniel High School.
Will Fuller V, Notre Dame.
Kenny Stills, Oceanside, Pop Warner. Darren Fells, UC Irvine.
Larry Tunsil, Ole Miss.
Max Sharping, Northern Illinois. Nick Martin, Notre Dame.
Zach Fulton, Tennessee.
Chris Clark, Southern Miss.
Brandon Dunn, Pledge Ridge Park.
DJ Reader, Clemson.
Charles Manhoop, Texas.
Barkevius Mingo, LSU.
Bernardrick McKinney, Mississippi State.
Zachary Cunningham, Vanderbilt.
Whitney Merciless, Fighting Illini.
Jonathan Joseph, South Carolina.
Tashawn Gibson, Dallas Kimball High School.
Justin Reed, Stanford.
Bradley Roby, the Ohio State University.
Jacoby Brissett, North Carolina State.
Marlon Mack, University of South Florida.
T.Y. Hilton, FIU.
Zach Pascal, Old Dominion.
Jack Doyle, Western Kentucky.
Eric Ebron,
I am a Tar Heel.
Anthony Costanzo, Boston College.
Quentin Nelson, Notre Dame.
Ryan Kelly, Alabama.
Mark Lewinsky, Lackawanna College.
Braden Smith, Auburn University.
Justin Houston, Georgia.
Grove Stewart, Camilla, Georgia.
Danico Autry, Albemarle High School.
Jabal Sheard, University of Pittsburgh.
Anthony Walker Jr., Northwestern.
Bobby Okereke, Stanford.
Pierre Desir, Lindenwood University.
George Odom, UCA, Go Bears.
Kari Willis, Michigan State.
Rock Yassin, Southwestern Cal High School.
Kenny Moore, Valdosta State.
Patrick Mahomes II, Texas Tech University.
Damian Williams, Mira Mesa High School.
Tyreek Hill, Pearson, Georgia.
Sammy Watkins, Clemson.
McCole Hartman, University of Georgia.
Travis Kelce, Cleveland Heights, Ohio.
Eric Fisher, Fire Up Chips.
Stefan Wisniewski, Penn State.
Austin Ryder, South Florida.
Dr. Duvernay Tardif, Université McGill.
Mitchell Schwartz, Cal.
Tano Pasquio, Villanova.
Chris Jones, Mississippi State.
Derek Nutty, Florida State.
Frank Clark, Michigan.
Anthony Hitchens, Iowa. Damian Wilson, Minnesota.
Charvarius Ward, Macomb, Mississippi.
Juan Thornhill, Virginia.
Tyron Matthew, LSU, DBU. Bashard Breeland, Clemson.
Kendall Fuller, Virginia Tech.
Derek Carr, Fresno State.
Marshawn Lynch, New Oakland.
Michael Crabtree, Texas Tech.
Seth Roberts, Mochi Jordan, 229.
Jared Cook, South Carolina.
Lee Smith, Marshall.
Donald Penn, Utah State.
Coleccio Assembly, Iowa State.
Rodney Hudson, Florida State.
Gabe Jackson, Mississippi State.
Marshall Newhouse, TCU.
Danico Autry, Mississippi State.
Eddie Vanderdos, Placer High School.
Justin Ellis, Louisiana Tech.
Khalil Mack, Buffalo.
Navarro Bowman, Penn State.
Nicholas Morrow, Greenville College.
Bruce Irvin, Almost Heaven, West Virginia U.
Sean Smith, Pasadena.
Carl Joseph, West Virginia.
Reggie Nelson, Florida.
TJ Carey, Ohio University.
Phillip Rivers, NC State.
Melvin Gordon, Kenosha Bradford.
Derek Watt, Wisconsin.
Keenan Allen, Berkeley, California.
Mike Williams, Clemson.
Hunter Henry, Arkansas.
Trent Scott, Grambling State.
Forrest Lamp, Western Kentucky.
Dan Finney, Carl Sandburg High School.
Michael Schofield, Carl Sandburg High School.
Sam Tevy, Utah.
Joey Bosa, The Ohio State University.
Justin Jones, NC State. Brandon Mebane, California Berkeley.
Uchenna Nwosu, USC.
Thomas Davis, The University of Georgia.
Denzel Perriman, the U.
Michael Davis, BYU.
Rayshawn Jenkins,
The U.
Rod Teemer, New Orleans, Louisiana.
Casey Hayward, Vanderbilt.
Desmond King II, Iowa.
Jared Goff, Cal Berkeley. Todd Gurley, Georgia.
Cooper Kupp, Eastern Washington.
Brandon Cooks, Oregon State.
Robert Woods, Southern Cal.
Tyler Higbee, Western Kentucky.
Andrew Whitworth, LSU.
Austin Corbett, Nevada.
Austin Blythe, Iowa.
David Edwards, Wisconsin.
Bobby Evans, Oklahoma.
Michael Brockers, LSU.
Sebastian Joseph Day, Rutgers.
Aaron Donald, Pitt.
Dante Fowler Jr., Florida. Troy Reader, Delaware. Corey Littleton, Washington. Clay Matthews, USC. Jalen Ramsey, Florida State.
Taylor Rapp, Washington.
Eric Weddle, Utah.
Troy Hill, Oregon.
David Garrard, ECU Pirates.
Fred Taylor, Florida.
Greg Jones, Beaufort, South Carolina.
Reggie Williams Jr., the University of Washington.
Matt Jones, Arkansas.
Mercedes Lewis, UCLA.
Khalif Barnes, University of Washington.
Uche Waneri, Purdue University.
Dennis Norman, Princeton University.
Milford Brown, Florida State.
Tony, long live the Chief.
Derek Harvey, Florida.
Rob Meyer, Washington State.
John Henderson, Tennessee.
Paul Spicer, Northwest High School.
Clint Ingram, University of Oklahoma.
Mike Peterson, University of Florida. Daryl Smith, Georgia Tech. Rasheed Mathis, Bethune-Cookman College.
Gerald Sensabaugh, Dobbins Bennett High School.
Brian Williams, North Carolina State. William James, Michigan.
Jay Cutler, Vanderbilt.
Damian Williams, Oklahoma.
Kenny Stills, La Costa Canyon High School.
Devontae Parker, Louisville.
Jarvis Landry, LSU.
Julius Thomas, Portland State.
Laramie Tunsil, Ole Miss.
Jesse Davis, Idaho. Mike Pouncey, Florida.
Jamon Bushrod, King George High School. Jawan James, Tennessee.
Cameron Wake, BC Lions.
Dom Kinsu, Grant High School.
Jordan Phillips, Oklahoma.
Andre Branch, Death Valley, South Carolina.
Lawrence Timmons, Florida State University.
Ray Maluga, University of Southern California.
Kiko Alonso, Oregon. Xavier Howard, Baylor. Rashad Jones,
Georgia.
Michael Thomas, Stanford.
Cordray Turnchley, Silver Bluff High School.
Kirk Cousins, Michigan State.
Dalvin Cook, Miami Central High School.
CJ Ham, Augustana University.
Stephon Diggs, University of Maryland.
Adam Thielen, Minnesota State Mankato.
Kyle Rudolph, Notre Dame.
Riley Reef, Iowa.
Pat Elfline, The Ohio State University.
Garrett Bradbury, NC State.
Josh Klein, Kent State.
Brian O'Neill, Pittsburgh.
Daniil Hunter, LSU.
Linval Joseph, East Carolina.
Shamar Stephen, UConn.
Everson Griffin, USC.
Anthony Barr, UCLA.
Eric Hendricks, UCLA.
Eric Wilson, Cincinnati.
Trey Waynes, Michigan State.
Harrison Smith, Notre Dame.
Anthony Harris, Virginia.
Xavier Rhodes, Florida State University.
Tom Brady, Michigan.
Sony Michel, Georgia.
James White, Wisconsin.
Julian Edelman, Kent State.
Nikhil Harry, Arizona State.
Benjamin Watson, Football City, USA.
Isaiah Wynn, Georgia.
Joseph Tooney, North Carolina State.
Ted Karras, Illinois.
Shaq Mason, Georgia Tech.
Marcus Cannon, TCU.
Lawrence Scott, ASU.
Danny Shelton, Washington.
John Simon, Ohio State.
Jamie Collins, Southern Miss.
Dante Hightower, The University of Alabama.
Kyle Van Noy, Brigham University.
Stephon Gilmore, South Carolina.
Patrick Chung, Oregon Ducks.
Devin McCourty, RU.
Jonathan Jones, Auburn.
J.C. Jackson, Maryland.
Drew Brees, Boilermaker.
Alvin Kamara, the University of Tennessee.
Michael Thomas, The Ohio State.
Ted Ginn Jr., The Ohio State.
Jared Cook, South Carolina.
Josh Hill, Idaho State.
Patrick Omame, Michigan.
Nick Easton, Harvard.
Eric McCoy, Texas A&M.
Larry Warford, University of Kentucky.
Ryan Ramczyk, Wisconsin.
Cam Jordan, Chandler High School.
Malcolm Brown, Texas.
Sheldon Rankins, Louisville.
Marcus Davenport, UTSA.
Demario Davis, Brandon High School.
AJ Klein, Iowa State.
Eli Apple, The Ohio State.
Von Bell, The Ohio State.
Marcus Williams, University of Utah.
Marshawn Lattimore, The Ohio State University.
PJ Williams, Florida State.
Eli Manning, Ole Miss.
Saquon Barkley, Penn State.
Odell Beckham Jr., LSU.
Sterling Shepard, Oklahoma.
Cody Latimer, Indiana.
Evan Ingram, Ole Miss.
Nate Solder, Colorado.
Will Hernandez, UTEP. John Halapio, Florida. Patrick Omame, Michigan. Go Blue.
Eric Flower, all about the youth.
Damon Harrison, The William Penn University.
Dalvin Tomlinson, University of Alabama.
Connor Barwin, Cincinnati.
Ray Armstrong, The U.
Alec Ogletree, Georgia Bulldogs.
Kareem Martin, North Carolina.
Eli Apple, The Ohio State University. Landon Collins, Alabama.
Curtis Riley, Fresno State.
B.W. Webb, The College of William and Mary.
Janoris Jenkins, North Alabama.
Mark Sanchez, USC.
Sean Green, Iowa.
Lex Hilliard, University of Montana.
Stephen Hill, Miller Grove High School.
Jeremy Curley, Texas Christian University.
Dustin Keller, Purdue University. Roberto Shaw Ferguson, University of Virginia.
Matt Slauson, Nebraska.
Nick Mangold, The Ohio State University.
Brandon Moore, Illinois.
Austin Howard, University of Northern Iowa.
Mo Wilkerson, Temple Ave.
Shonette Bohar, University of Utah.
Mike DeVito, University of Maine.
Calvin Pace, Wake Forest.
Dave Harris, Ottawa Hills. Bart Scott, Southeastern Junglers.
Brian Thomas, UAB.
Antonio Cromartie, Florida State.
LaRon Landry, LSU. Jeremiah Bell, Eastern Kentucky.
Kyle Wilson, Boise State.
Carson Wentz, North Dakota State.
Miles Sanders, Penn State.
Greg Ward Jr., Houston. Robert Davis, Georgia State.
Zach Ertz, Stanford.
Dallas Goddard, South Dakota State.
Jason Peters, Arkansas.
Isaac Silmarlo, Oregon State.
Jason Kelsey, University of Cincinnati.
Matt Pryor, TCU.
Halapoulivaati Vaitai, TCU.
Brandon Graham, Crockett Tech.
Fletcher Cox, Yazoo City High School.
Timmy Jernigan, Columbia High School.
Derek Barnett, Tennessee.
Nathan Gary, Black Shirt.
Nigel Bradham, The Florida State University.
TJ Edwards, Wisconsin.
Jalen Mills, LSU.
Malcolm Jenkins, The Ohio State University.
Rodney McLeod, The University of Virginia.
Avonte Maddox, Pittsburgh.
Duck Hodges, Sanford.
James Conner, Erie McDowell.
James Washington, Oklahoma State.
Deontay Johnson, Toledo.
Nick Van Nett, The Ohio State.
Zach Gentry, Michigan.
Alejandro Villanueva, United States Military Academy.
Ramon Foster, Ripley High School.
Marquise Pouncey, Lakeland Senior High.
David DeCastro, Stanford.
Matt Filer, Bloomsburg.
Javon Hargrave, South Carolina State.
Cam Hayward, The Ohio State University.
TJ Watt, Wisconsin.
Mark Barron, Alabama.
Devin Bush, Michigan.
Bud Dupree, Kentucky.
Joe Hayden, Florida.
Terrell Lemons, Virginia Tech.
Minka Fitzpatrick, Alabama.
Steve Nelson, Oregon State.
Mike Hilton, Ole Miss.
Jimmy Garoppolo, Eastern Illinois.
Tevin Coleman, Indiana.
Kyle Juszczyk, Harvard. Emmanuel Sanders, Belleville, Texas. Devo Samuel, University of South Carolina.
George Kittle, Iowa. Joe Staley, Central Michigan.
Lakin Tomlinson, Duke.
Ben Garland, Air Force Academy. Mike Person, Montana State.
Mike McGlinchey, Notre Dame.
Nick Bosa, The Ohio State University.
Sheldon Day, Notre Dame.
DeForest Buckner, Oregon.
Eric Armstead, Oregon.
Quan Alexander, Hot Boys University.
Fred Warner, BYU.
Dre Greenlaw, University of Arkansas.
Richard Sherman, Stanford.
Jaquaski Torrance, Sanford.
Jimmy Ward, Northern Illinois.
Kelly Witherspoon, Colorado.
Russell Wilson, from the whole pack of badges.
Travis Homer, University of Miami.
DK Metcalf, Ole Miss.
Tyler Lockett, Barnard Elementary.
Luke Wilson, Villanova High School.
Jacob Hollister, Wyoming.
George Fant, Western Kentucky University.
Jamarco Jones, The Ohio State.
Joey Hunt, TCU.
DJ Fluker, Alabama.
Jermaine Ifedi, Texas A&M.
Jadeveon Clowney, South Carolina.
Jaron Reed, Alabama.
Quentin Jefferson, The Woodland Hills High School.
Rasheem Green, USC.
Cody Barton, Utah.
Bobby Wagner, Ontario, California.
KJ Wright, Olive Branch High School.
Shaquille Griffin, St. Pete Nitro Track Club.
Bradley McDougall, Kansas University. Quandre Diggs, Angleton.
Trey Flowers, Converse Jet.
Jameis Winston, Florida State.
Doug Martin, Boise State.
Mike Evans, Texas A&M.
Russell Shepard, LSU.
Cameron Brate, Harvard.
Luke Stockard, Tennessee.
Donovan Smith, Penn State.
Kelly Panfield, Purdue.
Joe Hawley, Las Vegas.
Ali Morpet, The Hobart College.
Gosder Sherrillis, Boston College.
William Ghosted, Michigan State.
Gerald McCoy, Oklahoma.
Clinton McDonald, University of Memphis.
Rob Ayers Jr., Rocky Top University.
Quan Alexander, LSU. Devontae David, Nebraska.
Vernon Hargraves, Florida.
Keith Tandy, West Virginia.
Bradley McDougall, Kansas University.
Brent Grimes, Shippensburg University.
Javian Elliott, Florida State.
Blaine Gabbert, University of Missouri.
Derrick Henry, Alabama.
Tajay Sharp, UMass.
Corey Davis, Western Michigan.
Luke Stockard, Tennessee.
Mike Cole Pruitt, Southern Illinois.
Taylor Lewan, Cave Creek, Arizona. Quentin Spang, Petersburg High School.
Ben Jones, Bibb County. Josh Klein, The Kent State.
Dennis Kelly, Marion Catholic.
Daquan Jones, Penn State.
Austin Johnson, Penn State.
Benny Logan, Red River High School.
Derek Morgan, Coatesville Red Raiders.
Wesley Woodyard, Kentucky.
Jayon Brown, Long Beach Poly.
Harold Landry, Boston College.
Adoree Jackson, USC.
Kenny McCollum, Texas.
Kevin Byard, Middle Tennessee.
Malcolm Butler, West Alabama.
Kirk Cousins, Michigan State.
Samaje Perine, University of Oklahoma.
Josh Doxson, TCU.
Jameson Crowder, Duke.
Ryan Grant, Tulane University.
Vernon Davis, Maryland.
Ty Secchi, Arlington Bowie High School.
Ari Quanjo, Alabama.
Tony Bergstrom, University of Utah.
Brandon Sheriff, Iowa. Morgan Moses, Wahoo Wah.
Stacey McGee, Oklahoma.
Ziggy Hood, Mizzou.
Matt Ioannidis, Temple.
Preston Smith, Mississippi State.
Zach Brown, North Carolina.
Zach Vigil, Utah State.
Ryan Kerrigan, Purdue Boilermakers.
Rashard Breland, Clemson.
DeSage Everett, Texas A&M.
DJ Swearinger, South Carolina.
Josh Norman, Coastal Carolina.